Hello. This should be over here. And that should be off. Hello. It is March 29th. It is Thursday. It is 20 minutes to 9 o'clock. I think this is working. Hello? Yeah, that looks like it's working. I don't know. I haven't streamed in so long. I feel like I gotta break back into it somehow. Anyway, I haven't streamed in an age, so I thought I would do a quick one to get the dust off. The reason I haven't streamed was because I was at GDC, and then I was violently ill, and I'm still kind of stuffed up, so forgive me for that. In the time that's changed, I dropped a trailer, which was pretty cool. That went pretty well at GDC. I'm hoping I can, I hope they make that live soon. I think that's going to be live in, like, they said it would be a matter of weeks after GDC, and they said that would be one of the first things they made, free on YouTube, so pretty much looking forward to those talks going live. The trailers on YouTube. What else happened? Yeah, that catches up. GDC was amazing. I had a great time. I feel guilty for having such a good time. Like, I had an incredibly good time. I didn't get to see half the people I wanted to see. I didn't get to see anybody I did see nearly enough. And I wish it was twice as long. But everyone on Twitter had a really bad time, so I feel kind of bad about it, I guess. I got sick, so you know, it balances out, right? The game, what's changed there? I got back and I started working on a new menu. Sorry, I'm sick, so I'm not going to make it very long today. This was Monday, and I don't even remember the state it's in anymore. So, right. Okay, so before, there were just these boxes for each section, and there was dev mode, where you could, I mean, before this looked a little bit differently, but basically in here you could click and go to a specific level. Like, I could, if I want to go specifically to this level, I could click that and go there. And that was like how I was debugging things. And there was also, and before this was just kind of laid out as a series of really gross orange buttons, because I hadn't bothered to make this screen yet. I started making this screen. What this will be when it's done is you'll kind of see the path that you go throughout the world. It's kind of hard to parse right now because it's hideous, but each one of these is in fact a button. So like, just like that other screen, those buttons, that's exactly what these are, right? Like, you can click any one of these and go to that area. The idea being, like, these are the ones you've already done, this is the one you're on right now, this is where you're gonna go to. It's a little glitched out because I just unlocked them all and relocked them, but you can see, like, the drummer has gone through here. This is the first one that's unlocked for the drummer. As soon as I beat this level, hey Root Lancer, what's up, man? If I go back out to the menu, now that one's the one you're on, and you can go back and play any of these if you want to, and so forth. That is what I'm working on right now. Yeah, I didn't really plan out what I would do today. That's just about where I am. Hey, Kayla. Kayla was at GDC as well. I hope you had a good time too. I dragged her around all these crazy things, and you really did keep up with it, Kayla. Sorry, May. Sorry. I don't know which name you want me to use. May was a real champion. Right. Cleaning up mocap. Sorry, dude. That sucks. I'm glad you had a blast, May. The animators are cool. I belong to a really good cult. I roll deep with the cult, man. Yeah, I know that feeling, Root Lancer. Alright, this is where I'm kind of planning. So, what you can't see here, and I should have just done this in a not stupid way, but eventually I want to have the blue levels be offshoots, like optional offshoots. I haven't figured out how I'm actually going to do that yet. And I want this to be like the crypt path for the accordion, I think. But, you know, pretty when I figure out what it actually looks like. Right now I'm just trying to get it functional. Sweet. You're gonna get back to streaming too? I know, it's hard to get back on the horse. I feel like I've took a vacation from real life for a while. Hey, what's up, Brand Island Bros? That's P. Paquette, right? Or I've already forgotten the handles for everybody too. I'm getting there, man. My voice is a little bit crap, but I'm getting mostly there. Might go get more hot water and lemon. Yeah, it's been like an intense, I feel like I aged a year in a week, man. It was great. Hey, what's up, Broken Tangent? You got back and had homework to do? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Troll Dan. It's good to be back, man. This is good. We're getting the band back together, guys. I don't really feel like working. You guys just want to hang out. That's cool. I'll turn this into a chill stream. I'm glad you had fun at Animex. That was a good time. Oh god, that segment was so much fun. The entries for that were so good. Like the student entries, I guess they weren't all students, some were professionals, but oh my god, the entries, I couldn't believe it. They were phenomenal. I want them to put literally all of everybody that submitted, I want them to put all the submissions online. So you guys can have the experience I did of like culling it down to 6 out of 62. Man, they were so good. Oh god, that was fun. I love the bit Lana did with, what was it? Lana and Jake did that bit where they made Dave Gibson and all of those animators like animate each other's animation real fast in that weird game show. It was great. Oh my god, it was great. Oh, it was a fun time. I think that's so much closer to what conferences will be. Yeah, I know. They did that in 48 hours. I borderline don't believe it for the chicken one. Like, somewhat that must have been started, right? Or who's just sitting on that amazing rig of that chicken and that man and hasn't done anything amazing with it yet? That's absurd. Oh god, it was so good, Broken. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, that was insane. That was a good time. Yeah, I gotta open source that chicken rig, man. That's the shit. Oh god, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Let me explain why I worked myself into a corner here. When I set this up on Monday, I did it in the fastest way I could think of. Kind of. The shit is this? Oh, I can't even show you, really. Okay, well, hold on. So basically, this is the level button. It's got a bunch of logic to it. On creation, I get each section. Okay. So when I start the game, I get each section, where a section is, I'll show you basically. Right now, these are the sections. Like, the opening area is a section, drum practice is a section. And I get each section and I draw a line from, I start with the first one, I put a button at each section, at the world space location of each section, of the center point of that level, and then I draw a line to the previous one. That's the way it's structured. So if I'm going to make some of these optional, like if I'm going to do this, where I make this one optional, I'm going to need to figure out a way to not do that, and instead, maybe I put this into a different section, and that'll make it, how do I get this line though? Maybe I change how it's done. Maybe I draw the line twice. And if a line is drawn on top of a line, that doesn't matter. You can always draw always to the last and the next one. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I know what I'm doing now. I mean, that'll almost certainly be very temp and bullshit, but yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'll be at PAX, man. I'm speaking. Brent, you're Pete, right? Am I stupid? Aren't you speaking with me? In a panel? Or are you not Pete and I'm just stupid? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll be at PAX. I'm not gonna, like, agree to that and leave you hanging, man. Oh shit, programmer art. Yo, thanks, man. Yeah, that was a fun trailer. You wanna see how that was made? It's real simple. You'll have your son with me. Will you have your son with you on stage during the panel, Pete? Because I would support that. Here's how the trailer was done. Let me load it up. This is for each shot. There's a lot of random ass level scripting. Basically, I went through and I played each level, and then I went to the save file and I pulled the moves for that level, and I put it on a random node that's floating in the world. I think it's still floating in the world. I think it's like this one. Yeah, there's an actor in the world called Record Movement Actor, where I would just throw the move array, and then I would, from there, because it's not trivial to get, the save file is not ASCII, I can't get to it, so I basically, on load, pushed everything from the save file into this node, and then from there I could just right-click, copy it, and move that save data each move, take that data, hard-code it into the level, into a bunch of variables, and then in my sequencer, there's just two things. There's cameras and then there's these events, and all these events is go, go, go. It's just saying to redo, because the system, my game is undo and redo. So each of these events is just redo, redo, redo. Optionally with a time input, so I could say redo, but redo in 0.05 seconds, redo in 0.07 seconds, and that's how I made the trailer. It's all live in game. Just redoing moves while the cameras move around. I'm gonna jump from camera cut to camera cut. It's pretty sweet. I was very impressed with myself there, guys. Well, that'd be cool. Later, Broken Tangent. Thanks, man. Should I show it, or is that like... I won't waste your time. You guys have probably all seen it. Alrighty. I don't need to be asked twice. Making this is way too much fun. That's the first trailer. There's gonna be at least 2 more trailers before this game is done. That's all in real time synced with music and stuff? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, I literally just, like, keyed it to the beat. Like, I played the game, undid the level, and then redid it to the beat. That's it. That, and obviously, I manipulated the camera so that, like, the camera for each shot was in a specific place and was kind of moving. Nah, man. It's not edited at all. That's gameplay. Which I think is important. Like, I think it's better... All the screenshots, the trailer, everything is actually just the gameplay. That means the worst case scenario, and a thing that happens constantly, especially in AAA, is you'll work on some kind of marketing materials, or you'll work on a demo and it's all throwaway. And that's just... It's simultaneously really disheartening. There's arguments to be made that that's good. If you don't have to worry about the constraints of the game, you can really focus on the vibe and the feel you want. And you can kind of really push the art and make something that looks the way you want, even if it is kind of bullshit. Like, the downside of that is you could end up making a trailer for something that you can't actually achieve technically, or you'll end up making, like, or you'll end up really disheartened because you have to throw away everything you've made, or change it later. I generally find if you the minute you take your screenshots into Photoshop and you start doing paint overs, and you it's not that you're lying, it's just wasted work. It's just work that doesn't actually go into the game, and it feels like a waste to me. No, I haven't actually looked through the Paragon assets. Shoulda. Jay did a stream earlier today that I totally missed because I was working, where he was going through, like, how he set up the animation blueprints and stuff. Okay. I should look through that, though. We could have a stream where I do that. Open up their blueprints and then just cluck and judge them. That's not true. I actually like it. I learn a lot every time I look at their work. The way they work at Epic and the way I work is actually surprisingly different. Which is a sign I probably should have, like, looked at what they were doing more, because the engine's probably more designed to do things the way they do. You want to watch me open up the Paragon assets and look through them? Maybe. I mean, my approach to animation blueprints more and more is I go into them and I just disable everything. Which is a sign that I'm getting cranky and not utilizing their tech. Alright, shit. Maybe I'll look through them. I don't know what I'm getting into here. No, I'm not gonna look through the Paragon assets right now. That'll involve a lot of downloading shit and stuff. Plus, I feel like I haven't done JS all day. I didn't even watch the stream earlier. I have seen the, I love the stuff they're doing where they're putting the physics directly in the animation blueprint. I think that's bright. I like being able to specify where the ragdolls happen. If you want to ragdoll a specific part of a character, having that be in a specific place in your state machine is extremely valuable compared to the way it was before. There've been a couple glitches with it, but mostly I think it's been that's been extremely powerful. In general, a lot of the things, the animation blueprints have been really powerful. I think my only gripe with Unreal, their animation system, is that they tend to have, like, a lot of, because there's so many different ways to do a thing. Like, I've never even used animation montages, right? There's this stuff, animation composite, animation montage. This is a whole system that I've literally never used. where you're supposed to, I think it's a way of specifying like a kind of intro, loop, outro, and I don't understand why you wouldn't just put this directly in the state machine and script it. I think it was to get around the idea that originally you couldn't, well, you can't nest animation blueprints, and before you couldn't even cache off, you couldn't say like, here's a chunk of logic that I'm going to use in a couple places in the tree. There was no way to do that. And so I think they came up with animation montages, but then they came up with the ability to cache. So I feel like animation montages aren't even really required anymore. I feel like that's something you already have the ability to do. Anything you can do there directly in the state machine in the animation blueprint. So I'm not sure why they still have that. But I mean, they can't get rid of something once they make it because, you know, like a certain percentage of their clients are actually using that now. So I get why it's there. I just don't like it. It's an easier way to use combo animations. Sure, yeah. Again, it builds in a lot of things so that you don't necessarily have to script them yourself. I'm sure if I dug into it, it would there would be savings there. It's just like, I don't know, once you know how to do it in a state machine, I feel like you have more power. And if anything goes wrong, you can just directly manipulate the state machine. You have access to literally everything there. So working within this box that is whatever it is that the animation montage allows you to do isn't freedom. It's like the opposite, right? It might make things easier, I don't know. But doesn't seem like fun to me. It's not my jam. Guys, I really want to slack off. Please hang out with me. That's the wrong attitude to have. I should figure this shit out. Okay. New plan. I'm gonna figure shit out. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm making... You're here until Overwatch at 8 p.m. Pacific. Sweet Troll Dan. I'm glad to know I have the parameters of how long you will be here. Alright, let's start. Okay, here's our goal. Today, we're going to make it so that... I don't know if you can even see this. Hopefully you can. Maybe I don't realize all of this, but I'm going to make it so that this level is an optional level. Oh god, there's a lot here that I didn't consider. Shit. I mean, is it always going to be this structure? Initially I thought there might be like two different paths that meet up in the same point, but this is ending up like what's this one gonna be if I'm thinking this through? Where's my layers? I need to just build more here. Like, I think this is gonna be... That's definitely gonna be optional. That's a hideous shape, by the way. That can't be like that. Are any of these gonna be optional? Yeah, you know, it might be that there's always a crit path and then there's just one-off optional levels. If I make that assumption, then things get a lot easier. Let's make that assumption. What's this? Does it look like a fish? No? Are you perhaps hungry? Looks like a fucked up constellation. Alright, let's see. So... Alright, if we're looking at the last, if this equals this is iterating over the levels in a section. This is saying if you're at the last thing in a section. What that's there for. If you're the first thing in the section, otherwise get this. If you're the last thing in the section. Level button has the level name, the previous level name. Let's give it optional next level name. When I'm setting your position, this is where I get the world space position of that level. Okay, so the way I'm figuring out where to put the button is I'm getting everything that's tagged with the level name, and I'm looking for every level has one thing that's basically tagged that is like, this is the, let me find one. I tag one of the cubes to be the center of the level. The center, which isn't always the center. It's just wherever it's convenient for the button to be. Here's one. So like for this level, this is the center. So when I'm determining where to put the button on the HUD, I'm looking for the world space position of this. And the way I find that I should look for the world space position of this is I get every actor that's tagged with the name of the level over here, and I look for the first thing that also has this other flag set. How did I come up with dire goldfish? I don't know. I wanted something, my name is Gwen Frey. So goldfish is kind of like, just kind of made sense. There's no logic there. Meh. It just kind of happened. Weird to get. Oh, widget. Oh yeah, if you capitalize something, it memorizes the capitalization. In a way, it's kind of nice, because it prevents you from having issues where you, if you capitalize a variable in one way, then you change the casing, somebody decides that they're going to use camel case instead of whatever the hell, it'll autocorrect so that all your variables always have the same casing and shit. But the downside of that is the second you type something, you can't change the name of it. It's set that way forever. Got it. get the first thing that's, if the tags are the same as this, or this isn't set yet. Optional. Next level. World space position of the optional next level. Okay. This is let's just say if this is not equal to none, because most of the time this will be none. If we've specified a next level, then get all actors with that level, iterate over them, find if you found the one with the level center, set this variable. Date, button position. All right, when yes, okay. So anytime this function is called, figure out, this is on this specific button, figure out who you are in the UI. Set your position to be, okay, take your world space position, convert to screen space, set that, set the scale based on how far you are. Where am I drawing the lines? I cut all this, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, so yeah. I have to do this. I think this goes every tick. This is not ideal. But okay. So find the world space position. Okay. If we know where the level is. No. If the previous level is specified, draw a line from there to there. Yeah, this is going to be super temp. I need a different solution at some point. This is not ideal. But it'll get the idea across. Find the world space position of the next level. If it's set, then get draw a line from where you are to this point, which should be where you are minus okay. Yeah. Context. I don't know what this shit does, but it needs it. So, there we go. No, still not gonna. I should also set the color, but that's not what's stopping me here. Hey, Blood Swords, what's up, dude? Okay, compiled. Oh, fuck, perforce. Perforce. I don't know what this shit does. I mean, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'm going to want to change this when I figure out what this will actually look like. I want it to get functional. I want to make sure I like the way it works. And then I'll worry about what it actually looks like, because it's obviously not going to look like this. This draw line is used for like their debugging, usually. I'm kind of hijacking it. They have this thing called onPaint, which is a function, I suppose, that runs, I imagine, every tick that draws like, I think it draws slate, or like their 2D overlay. They have a default 2D overlay. I don't know. I'm actually talking out of my ass. Like, I have no idea. But there's a thing called onPaint. It has a thing called context. And if I want to just hijack their debug line drawing, this is what I figured out that I could do this at one point. And so we're doing it. And I'm not going to ship unless I either come up with something way better, which I will, or figure that out. Because, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing right here. I don't know what this function is that I'm overriding. Probably shouldn't override a function without knowing what it is, but here we are. It's 9:20 on a Thursday, and we're working on indie games at home, and we're going to just override a function blindly. In the mood to check out spaghetti? Oh, I got the spaghetti, man. It's a goddamn Italian restaurant up in this bitch. I don't know what you're talking about. My shit's glorious. Alright. Okay. Like, this is my first attempt. Before, I was like, I'll make an image that's a line, and that didn't go well. But eventually that's probably the way it will be, because I will need to put art on this. But for now, we're going to use Unreal's debug lines. I don't know why I launched. I've accomplished nothing yet. So, onPaint. So that's set. I have a function. Okay. This crap should just... I'm saving it because I'm scared I might need it again. Oh yeah, this is the stuff I'm going to reactivate when I need to figure out how to get a line to draw between two. I think what I'm going to eventually do is have like 2 points, and then I'm going to want to put an image halfway in between that's oriented properly and scaled properly to create a line, but it won't be a line, it'll be some other art thing, but I don't know what yet. When it's time to figure that out, I'll need this. So by then I'll forget it exists, and it'll just probably actually hang out here forever. But that's fine. Let's lie to ourselves. So what we're going to do instead is keep using the debug lines. We're going to, if this is the last thing, if we're looking at the last level in a section, if we're not, just continue. If we are, let's set that optional. Oh, it's not coming up. What? Right. optional, next level. Sure. Make a button if it doesn't exist. Okay. Now I have to actually use this. So, when updating all buttons. Okay. What level are you? Where are you? Tbot06. Those don't actually do anything anymore. So this is accordion. Six two. I'll just show you from the beginning. Okay. Interesting. For one thing, I set it to do the wrong thing. So I want you to go... Right. I want you to actually break right off of the second opening level. So you break off of this. And your next level is this. Okay, so you can see it's breaking off here, but it's not drawing a line here. Why? Make your trail color white. It's just not drawing anything at all. Never hit that break point. Hey Tango, what's up, man? There it goes. Nice. Okay. See, like, I can't go here. I can go here because I kind of glitched out earlier. Because I've completed this level, I can go here or here. I might want to not automatically progress if you beat a level, if you reach a fork. This is interesting. I have to think on that. Yeah, Tango, you liked it? It's on Steam now, it's real. Dude, that was pretty cool. I had a great week last week. Was it last week? Feels like an eternity ago now. Yeah, it's on Steam, man. Follow that shit. Wishlist it. I don't know why. I think like there's algorithms or something that make it good if like a lot of people wishlist it at once. Hell yeah. I should like make one of those things. And GDC was great, Tango. I had a wonderful time. Look forward to it every year. I'm in a wonderful little cult that just rolls together and has a really good time at GDC. We're not kidding about it. Thank you, Muller. I felt pretty good, man. Also, I'm pretty sure that might have been my best micro talk yet. It was hard to top the first one. The first one was pretty funny. I don't know for sure, though. I have to go back and, like, actually watch the video. You never know when you're actually giving it. You kind of, like, black out. Thanks, Troll Dan. Thank you for manipulating the math. I had a couple different ideas for how to do this, but I don't actually have an idea for is if I should kick. You know, what if it was like a little challenge? Okay. Yeah, Tango. So I'm going to put I gave two GDC talks. One of them I've edited already, the tips and tricks one. That one's going to go on YouTube very soon. I have to check, like, legally what I'm allowed to do. Because before I just said, because the talk was 5-minute tips and tricks, and so I was going to put it on as, like, the director's cut or the extended cut, where I actually explain what I was doing a little bit more in depth. And I was going to put up, like, a 7-minute video. But in hindsight, GDC might get real mad if I do that. So I need to check and see if that's okay. I suspect I'll probably put up exactly that, like the 7-minute. I'm going to show exactly the talk I gave at GDC, but elaborate a little bit more, and throw that up on YouTube. But I probably can't call that, you know, the GDC talk extended cut. They might frown on that. I'll probably call it something else, but I'll have that on YouTube within a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, within a couple weeks, I mean, like, I'll figure out what I'm going to do, and as soon as I get off my lazy ass, probably this weekend, I'll have that one on YouTube. Stick it to the man. I need them to keep inviting me back, Tango. I need that free badge, man. GDC is expensive enough without, like, having to pay for the badge. I've gotten away with not paying for the badge for the past couple years. I'm pretty spoiled about it. Technically, we get away with Animex because none of the talks are the same as the talks we give at GDC. If you see, we do kind of like a panel, or we'll do, we've gotten together before, all the animators that do the boot camp, and we've talked about just not necessarily boycotting GDC, but just doing Animex instead. But the general consensus is that's a bad idea. Like, a lot of people, especially in AAA, their companies send them to San Francisco to go to GDC, but they won't just pay for you to go be around GDC and do some other shit on Twitch, even though that reaches a bigger audience. I think a lot of the companies involved, like Activision, doesn't know what Animex is, but they know what GDC is. So they'll fly people, the Activision studios will fly their animators out to speak at GDC, and then we'll just use them for Animex, but they'll be totally different talks across the two. Well, it's a lot of work for them because they've got to, I don't know what they have to do, but they do some amount of editing just to get them into the vault. And then after they're in the vault, they definitely do a polish pass on the editing for when they put them on YouTube. And the ones that are, because if you look at the ones in the vault, the audio quality is nowhere near as good. The cuts aren't anywhere near as good. Like, they clearly get them on the vault as fast as possible, and that generally takes 2 weeks. And they'll usually make a bunch of the ones in the vault free. And then they'll, sorry, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for this. Yeah, and then somebody will really polish and think it through and put out the YouTube videos. Like, I don't know what they do, but they do shit. Like, they'll decide to cut from the speaker to the slides and back again, and they'll do a polish pass in the audio and stuff so that the audio quality is better. I doubt the sponsors give a shit. The sponsors are mostly interested in the product placement, their banner placement, that sort of thing. I don't think the sponsors have any beef with GDC getting the YouTube videos on faster or shorter. I think it literally just takes time and money and people to do that sort of thing. Hey, Stay Thirsty, what's up, man? I borderline feel bad for GDC because they're getting so much shit right now. I feel like, I don't know if this GDC was worse than usual. There's no doubt San Francisco, since I left, has gotten... There's just way more homeless people than there used to be. Like, I used to stay kind of in the Tenderloin. I don't do that now. Where I stay now, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I'm, like, on the corner of... I was staying at a hotel on the corner of 9th and Market. Is that right? Like 8th or 9th and Market. Somewhere around there. Yeah, San Francisco's gotten real bleak, man. And if you're paying attention, like, people are making it very clear to the GDC staff that they're unpleased with how GDC went. And I know, like, It's been all over Twitter and shit. People are having a really bad time. GC's expensive. It's not really safe because, you know, it's true if you don't know that city very well, you can take a bad right turn and end up in a really dangerous area. A friend of mine, even back in the day, a friend of mine was roofied in, what was it, the Irish Bank, like one of the pubs there. But you get that in every city. Like, there's a certain... It's not the safest. I think San Francisco's a lot safer than a lot of other cities. It used to be. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I was actually followed home at one point. I think it wasn't like scary. It was Monday, I think. Yeah. On Monday I was walking up Market and this homeless guy just starts following me. Like he was trying to, like, yeah, she's okay, don't worry, nothing happened. She was roofied, but then her friends were there. So it was really just really unpleasant because they realized what was going on. They took her back to her hotel and she threw up a lot and passed out, but nothing happened. She ended up okay. And like, there's a lot of stories like that. Like I was followed on Monday. Like I was walking up the street and there's like a dude that's like kind of trying to sprint to keep up with me. He was clearly he's on the shit. So he couldn't. So like I was testing it. Like I turned around and I walked back up the block and he followed me, and then I crossed the street and he followed me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But it's just a lot of drugs. It's just a lot of really desperate people with a lot of problems. It's a kind of shitty area, I'm not gonna lie. That area near the Tenderloin, there's, I don't know, it's just been getting worse each year. So I can understand why people don't want to go there anymore. I kind of agree. I don't really have a solution though. I like GDC a lot. I have a great time every time I go. But I definitely understand the concerns. I've lived in California basically all of my 3.5 decades of life, and I've only been to SF once 25 years ago. Cool. You have one data point. But yeah. I don't think it used to be this bad. Then again, I used to stay in like the hostels near Union Square. I might just need to go back to doing... I like having my own place when I'm at GDC because there's so much talking and I just need like a couple hours to just be silent in a room. And when you're staying with somebody, that's too much for me. Like I can't do it. I can't do it all the time. I just can't talk all the time. Like I'll just fucking lose my mind. Fifth Emission, yeah. I mean, it's weird because I remember the homeless, but it used to be kind of funny. Like, we had an app at one point there was this one homeless dude that kind of like had some kind of gastrointestinal thing happening, and every morning around the commute time, he would run out to the street and just shit into the street. Like projectile shit. And my friend made I know of an app that would like track the movements of the projectile shitter so you could make sure that like he wasn't around to shit on your car or whatever. So I think of it as like, haha, the homeless of San Francisco. It used to be so funny, but no, I feel like it's gotten worse and worse and more desperate as the years go on. Like I feel like it got pretty bad. I don't know. I left a long time ago. The crappy alarm clock, Tango. You're the worst. The SF poop map. I'm borderline convinced you're telling the truth that exists, Polar. I'm almost certain that you're right. That's a thing, isn't it? It's a thing. I'll bet. Yeah, fucking Silicon Valley, man. That is the one thing. Any app that is like based on geography works perfectly in San Francisco because that's where it was developed. You can pretty much count on it, except for when you're in the Moscone Center because you're not going to have Wi-Fi. It's impossible. Yeah, Route Lancer, he never went too far from within like a couple block area, so it wasn't that difficult to track. I think it was mostly just, has he done it yet, yes or no? also, like, where is he right now if he did do it? A lot of locals here in Colorado are mad at the invading Californians. I can see why. There is definitely, like, a movement from San Francisco directly to Boulder specifically. I don't know why. I know so many people that did that move. Like, migrant birds or some shit. Like, that's just kind of happening. I'll look this up. What is it? The San Francisco poop map? First hit, is this just a rumor? Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Rush Limbaugh. They have to go and no one's told them they can't. It's liberalism, what do you expect? Alright. Cool. Yeah, okay, so there's an SF poop map. So you can avoid the human feces. There you go. I still love that city. But yeah. Maybe not all of it. Maybe GDC should move. Thanks. You think it looks good, Stay Thursday? I think I would disagree strongly. But, you know, to each his own. I feel like... What do I want to have happen here? I think I might just need to rethink this, actually. This is what I was thinking in the night. Not quite this. You'd reach a fork and then I didn't really think this through. Like what? It would push you, if you were playing, it would push you out to this window. That seems lame. I feel like you should hit something and it should unlock a challenge room. And then you should get like a pop-up. Do you want to go to that room right now? And if yes, you go to it. And it pops you right back out. I don't think I actually want this fork thing. I think I'm gonna get rid of this idea. Which might involve reverting what I just did. These things, they happen. Like maybe there's just these offshoots if you want to go do a challenge room. And you can break off, do it, and then pop right back, like an out and back. Because my original idea was I thought there might be multiple paths through the level. That's not shaken out to be true. There's reasons why I like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this instead. Move it to Seattle. Does Seattle have a big enough convention center? I mean, it's definitely a cool city. Maybe. In March? Maybe. You have to reserve the Moscone Center something like 10 years in advance or some shit, so I'm not sure. Moving a conference like this is not trivial. And there's definitely alternative GDCs, right? Like, they have GDC Europe and GDC Asia and shit. So it's not, like, impossible. I don't know. This is definitely a conversation that's ongoing. Like, I mean, you can... Rami, for one, is, like, super open about the idea that he does not think this is good. He believes that we should probably hold GDC somewhere else. I think a lot of people on Twitter are saying we should hold it somewhere else. The question is where, how, when. I believe it's going to be online. I think the solution to all this is just to put all this shit online. I've already made my decision. I'm going to, I want to speak at 2 conferences each year, and I think the second one I want to do, if I can get into it, is going to be, this tiny one that Aslak runs out in, fucking, where is he? Norway? Yeah. Aslak runs a conference out in Norway that's just, like, tiny and kind of awesome. And streamed. And that one's cool because they actually fly out the speakers and, like, take care of you while you're there, and it's not the usual. So like Reboot Develop and a lot of those tend to be big business, tend to have like the presidents of companies and shit, whereas if you look at Console, it looks like they just kind of get interesting people. It's just a weird cross-section of developers. I don't know. I guess I just really liked it because like my buddy Ryan spoke there, and Jane Eng spoke there, and everyone I know that's spoken there had a great time. And they do this thing where they throw together a really random panel at the end of just, like, why is Ryan Duffin, Jane Eng, and, like, some random-ass business person sitting in a panel talking about the future of the industry, when they have wildly different perspectives, right? Like, Jane Eng is art lead at Campo Santo. Ryan Duffin is lead working on an engine. Like, he's an animator, but he's got, like, something 50 people working for him or some shit. Out in Dice LA working on their engine. And then you get, like, this business dude that's been in the industry for 20 years and just went indie. Some programmer dude. And they're all just sitting around chatting about the future. Something about that I think is just a really cool idea. I dig that. I kind of want to be a part of that. I think other conferences are continuing to grow and will balance things out. One major event once a year isn't reasonable anymore for how large the industry has become. Yeah. It is nice that there's just one to go to, though, Moeller. I will say it sucks traveling around. Like, well, it doesn't suck. It's fun if it's not every year. Kind of like what I do with the dialogue box. do I randomly talk about the state of the industry? No, what I like about Console is that it's everyone on that. Well, the few things I've seen on YouTube, they have really interesting developers who are very senior and very articulate. But don't usually have a conversation. Like, usually a panel is very curated. It's kind of like, let's get all the people that are specifically very good at this one thing. And usually that one thing is, like, business or design, or a specific kind of design. Whereas this was just, like, here's a bunch of smart, articulate people who are in the industry and have very different perspectives because they literally work in different fields. Go. And they just went, and it was, I don't know, I thought that was cool. Might be lightning in a bottle, though. I don't know if they can pull that off again. Yeah, I think streaming conferences is probably the future. I think soon the biggest conferences will be in China. I mean, we already see that with Joy-Con, right? Like, the entertainment conferences, the biggest ones are in China. Is it Joy-Con? I know the biggest one isn't. The biggest one's out there. True, the hope is that you do not go to all of them. I don't know if I want to stream any more of this, because I think I actually have to rethink it. I think I might log off, get a cookie, and then think. Because I don't think I'm going to do this. Later, Root Lancer. I could play some games. I haven't played games in a while. Oh man, if you're gonna make me choose between cookies and games, I might go with the cookie. You gotta chill with the cookies. I had too many cookies at GDC. It's getting out of control. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go. This is good. I need to break back into streaming again. Now it's like 10 o'clock here. Of course, troll Dan. Later Soviet Misaki. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I just gotta think about it a sec.